Good morning, and today is Thursday, the 4th day of April 2019. My name is Derek. All bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Let's take a look at gold, silver, and the stock market. With gold showing regular verted or a regular head and shoulders pattern, with the price action in the area of where the neckline would be. I don't know how you want to call the left shoulder, right head, or the head, the right shoulder in here. Regardless of how you look at it, the price action after the decline was unable to get above when it had a chance to the 18 average, and when it had its fall below it, showing the last several days, showing weakness amongst such. And I'd be looking for a price action to go down to 1239 area, breaking that level of resistance. And because of the failed move, I'd have to say there's an okay chance that should happen. A very similar story on silver, as after its decline from the Fibonacci 16 level down to 15, had this move amongst the 18 and the attempt to break out here roughly right at the start of the spring time, and then three big red candles down, then showing the weakness and resisting the 18 lows. Now just barely breaking that level of support in at 1490, 92, and barely at this level of previous resistance. I'd be looking at about a 61.8% move and a decent sized leg lower to about 14 and a half if it's going to go down there, and it's got to be more favored to do that than I would think to have a move closer or above the 18 highs. But market always does what it needs to do, or does what it does, and to me as a trader, and I buy physical gold and silver, and so I'm really not trading it within this, but as a trader, always for me, I adjust to what the message of the market is, and as it is, what's my best play now at the time, and then I go ahead and do it. And for me, accumulating physical precious metals within the Bitcoin market, and then you buying them with cryptocurrencies rather, is a phenomenal thing. On the daily chart, DXY is showing a sign it might break above this level of resistance, and if it does that, I would expect the possibility of the size of the silver decline, where gold could be well over 1%, 2% in a couple of days, and silver could have 5, 6, 7% declines if this does break out past this previous high, a little south of 98. Moving on to the stock market with the S&P 500, just continuing on. Above this 18 average, low volatile moves. Yesterday's session had a high of 287 and three quarters, a low of 285 and three quarters. So that's about a 2 point move. And on a difference of 285, that's about a 0.8%, 0.75 ish percent play. But still hanging and holding in there. And oftentimes within these up moves, they'll just grind its way higher. And it looks like it might be doing just that, as it has really had hardly any selling pressure since the Christmas bottom of last year. And if it does, I'll be looking for price action to resist or support where the area of this resistance as well within the 18 lows as its next level. At some point, it's got to break down below it and have a decent sized gain. But the key point is at some point, and how high would it be, and how much of this empty space would there be when it happens. The top gainer I see is only up 20%. And they say it's a strong buy on trading on this here. So let's see how good this really is. Again, 20% move. They say it's a strong buy. I don't see why. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Because using my strategy of buy low, sell high, I mean, everything I guess you could buy back in here, and well, you wake up in this. Well, if you're buying in at 5 6, to me it's a good sell. It's also in the middle of this, so that makes it very difficult both for selling and buying. Just simply by looking at it on the daily chart, weekly chart, very sideways, choppy. But after this support established low, we've had a pierce below, and then this last high was a pierce below the high, so more bearish on that time frame. Unless there's fundamentals, it's extremely choppy. It's leaving the lower end of the range and it's entering the upper end of its move. Other than for just buy low, sell high, and its lovely choppiness, there's not much else I can see on this. And the top loser is Ocean Power Technologies. I don't know what else to say about these moves in here. Something happened yesterday for this to gap up. I don't know if I might. This rings a bell. I think I might even covered this as a top gainer yesterday. Usually, at least in the crypto markets, top losers are because they were previous gainers because they give all of it back in a productive cycle. It almost seems like how can one enjoy this game in the sense that, oh, market's closed and you do this type of movement as it closes? That just doesn't seem right. Now, maybe there's ways around it, and then there are movements that can happen during those quote unquote off hours, and if so, then we should be able to see charts for the exchanges in which they trade from. Alright, wow, this is. Well, if you sold up here, I mean that's just an easy way to get your buy back. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.